Last week I was lucky enough to be in Hawaii and I got to visit the factory where they make my favourite skincare products, Honey Girl Organics. So I've got a little interview here for you with the founder of the company, Anthony, and he can tell you all about them. And then also we were lucky enough to get a look into their little factory. Everything's handmade in small batches. So everything's done on a really small scale to preserve the love and integrity of the products. So yeah, take a look. They're my favourite products to use. I've been using them for 10 years. I use the day cream and the night cream and the cleanser and the toner. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you enjoy the products as much as I do. So today I'm just so happy to be here with Anthony from Honey Girl Organics. Hello Anthony.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Well, you're welcome.
So I really love the Honey Girl products. I've been using them for around 10 years now. I was telling you that I used to always just pick them up on my visits to LA. I found them in Erewhon first time. And then I think we've been selling them for maybe about 5 years now on Raw Living. And yeah, so happy to be sharing them with people. I get to try all these products, you know, all the different skincare products, and I always just come back to Honey Girl. They are my favourite of all the products.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. We're very proud of our products.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a bit about how you came to start the company?
Yeah, let's see, we started Honey Girl about 10 years ago, and it was mainly due to my wife and her friend Christina. They were looking for a more natural product that didn't have the usual chemicals and preservatives and emulsifiers. At the time we were raw foodists. We had been raw foodists for about 10 years, and being a raw foodist is a wonderful experience. It also makes you, we found that it made our bodies more sensitive to our environment and the things around us, in particular chemicals. And I think the real thing that brought it on was chlorine in our swimming pool. My wife started having a reaction in her fingertips to the chlorine, and she asked me if there was any way I could make anything that would stop her from her fingers being so raw. And so I was been a beekeeper for about 30 years, and at the time I had some experience with the beeswax and honey, obviously, from harvesting products, and my wife had noticed also that my hands were in really good condition whenever it was harvest time, and she was asking me, why is that? And the only thing I could think about, because I didn't really notice it myself, but what I did realize was that I was doing something that's in beekeeping an improper procedure, which was I would take the scrapings off the caps. As I was decapping the honeycomb to spin out the honey from the comb. Well, I wound up with a big, huge pile of beeswax that was just dripping in honey. So I just started getting in there with my hands. I'd just grab up a big ball of this wax and just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until the honey would just drip out. And then I'd take the wax ball and put it on the side so that I could make candles or something with it. I don't know, I was going to do something. But yeah, so my hands were getting really smooth from that. And my wife noticed that. She asked me, what are you doing? And that was the only thing I could think of, was I was in there squeezing this wax, you know, getting the honey out, and my hands were getting softer from it. And at the same time, she was getting these reactions to the chlorine in the swimming pool. And so she asked me, well, is there any way, you know, maybe I could just take the beeswax and coat my fingernails with it or something? And she tried that, and it didn't really work too well. So she asked me if there's any way I could make anything that might help that situation. And so I got out our kitchen blender and proceeded basically to destroy it, you know, mixing wax. And I was thinking, well, let's see, maybe we can make a mayonnaise and then add some wax to it or something, you know. And I love to cook, so I was, you know, thinking, I had my cooking brain going, and I was going, well, let's see, let's make an emulsification and we'll add beeswax. And we did, and it blew up our blender, but it made a very crude form of what is Honey Girl today, which was really kind of nice. And my wife used it on her hands, and lo and behold, she'd put it on and go in the swimming pool and come out, and she was happy about it. So that was kind of like the beginning.
So you've come up with all the formulations yourself?
Yeah. I wouldn't take credit for them. I would say that I was instructed by my wife and our friend Christina to come up with some products that they would enjoy using, and so I put my mind to it and came up with these products. Yeah, along with their help, a lot of their help.
And everything's organic. Everything's heated at low temperatures.
Yeah. Being a raw foodist, and today, although we're not raw foodists, we're primarily vegan and very interested in eating healthily. We recognize the value of nutrition, and especially the value of keeping the ingredients as close as possible to what nature provides. That is key importance. As you know, anything over 108 degrees Fahrenheit will start to destroy the enzymes in products, and then it also, anything over that starts to really dramatically change the nutritional value of what's in there. So we try to keep everything at low temperature. We need to melt the wax, obviously, so we do that by combining it with a small amount of olive oil. And then from there, once that wax is heated, we add it to the mass of the product, and we do that at a very high, fast mixing value, so that when the wax hits, it's the heat as well as the actual wax gets dispersed through the products very quickly, and so that makes it so it doesn't really damage anything that's in the body of the product, and that keeps it in a raw condition. It's the best way to have it.
So you must have come to that through a lot of trial and error.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like I say, I destroyed a lot of kitchen utensils along the way, and then finally, when we decided that we were going to formally start a business, we invested in some machinery that could handle the loads. So that's what we did.
But it's still, you just took me around your little factory. It's still all done in small batches, still
Small
done
batches.
by hand.
Yep.
I think that's really crucial to the process.
Absolutely. I think it's really important. We want to keep because our product is unique in that we don't have any stabilizing elements. There's no emulsifiers. There aren't any preservatives. There's nothing that sounds like chemical. If you look at the ingredient panel on our product, you'll see that everything that's in there, you know what it is. And that's great. I mean, I think that's really wonderful. It actually is really the best for us, but it also makes it so that our product is maybe not, it's more susceptible to contamination. So, yeah, we want to keep a close eye on everything. We do everything in a small batch. Generally, a batch, when we make a batch of product, it usually is enough for anywhere between 15 and 30 pieces of product. And that's, as you know, that's small. Yeah.
That's really small.
Yeah, that's small.
Wow.
But it's worth it to us. It's just a good way to really guarantee and make sure that the product is the best we can make it. And yeah, we do it all in a very confined, sealed environment. As cleanliness is really important. Also, we use our packaging that we use. We use the packaging we do use because it also helps to preserve the product, as well as it looks great. But it also just really protects the product.
Do you want to explain to us the jars, how you designed the
Yeah,
jars?
we decided to use a glass jar. Glass is really good for a skin product because it's inert and it will not leach chemicals into the product. So that's very good. And then the actual jar we use is also encased with aluminum. And that aluminum casing, it's a gold color, but it's an aluminum casing, and that blocks out all the sunlight, which is very helpful to keep the integrity of the olive oil and the other ingredients intact. By eliminating the sun from getting in, what it helps to do is it stops the degradation that occurs if you were to take oil and put it in direct sunlight. After a little while, the oil will start to lose its value.
And you're telling me as well it's food grade olive oil, it's not just like...
It's extra virgin, organic, first press,
Amazing.
The best olive oil we can find. And we found that olive oil is a tremendous oil. I mean, it's I know there are millions of oils out there, and we use other oils also. But as an oil that is really valuable for our skin, olive oil, I think, is one of the best. The profile of the amino acids in olive oil have a direct correlation to what is found in our bodies, and it makes it very assimilable. It makes it easy for our bodies to use, is what I'm saying here. So yeah, or you put it on and your body goes, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's whatever you put on there. We can use that. So.
Could you speak for us, because I class myself as vegan. I don't eat animal products, but I
Sure.
do include bee products in my diet.
Uh-huh.
And I think at the moment there's a growing number of vegans who
Right.
really get upset by the use of bee products. Could you speak on this, why you
Sure.
think it's important to
Yeah.
support the bees as you do?
Well, I think it's important to support the bees mostly because, well, just nothing to do with our products, but just in terms of the value of the bee to humanity is incredible. There's a truly symbiotic relation between the man and the bee, and I think I think it was Aristotle way back in Greece who said, when the bees are gone, man will have 5 years, and then he will be gone also. And that's because the bees are the best pollinators on the planet, and they pollinate of every bite of food you take. Let's see, 1 bite out of every 3 bites of food that you eat is directly responsible from bee pollination. I'm talking about all the nuts, all the fruits, all the vegetables. Those are all produced by bee pollination, or some pollinator. Not necessarily a bee, it could be a butterfly, it could be a bat, but basically the bees are by far and away the best pollinators. So on that level, I really feel it's important to support bees, and I really try to encourage people to keep their bees in backyards, in their gardens, because that's where bees can thrive. Bees and man should be together. I know it sounds woo-woo, but it really is. The best environment for bees is where there are people who are doing gardening. That's the best the bees can do. The large corporate farms are no good for bees because there's too many pesticides that kill them, and there's too much artificial fertilizer. And most of the time, the really large farming concerns are farming things that bees are not pollinating, like corn, wheat, rice, soybeans. Bees do not pollinate any of that. And basically, if the bees are gone, that's what we'd have left to eat. Corn, wheat, rice, soybeans. That would be what we'd get to eat.
I don't eat any of
Okay.
that. I would starve.
Right. So that's that part. Now, as far as being a vegan goes, that's just on the level of, a moral
Ecology.
value. On another level, as far as actually the value of consuming honey in particular, I think it has a tremendous value, even to vegans, if you remember that a bee is like a chipmunk. Chipmunks and squirrels, they gather acorns for the winter. That's what they do. And what bees do is they gather flower nectar for the winter. So what they're doing when they're making honey is they're going out and they're sucking in through their proboscis or proboscis. They're sucking this nectar into this, what we call a stomach, but it's actually like a storage pouch, like if they were monkeys and they had big cheeks or something, and they bring this back, this nectar back to the hive, and they deposit it in these little combs. There's a bee right there. And so they spit this nectar back out into these combs, and then the baby bees, the ones that aren't flying around yet, they're in there and they fan their wings, and that, along with the heat that's generated by all those bees living in such close proximity, creates a dehumidifying effect.
Wow.
And so what honey actually is dehumidified flower nectar. Hi, here's a guy. So that's what it is it's just flower nectar.
Yeah.
It does have some bee saliva in it. So in that way you are ingesting maybe something that came from the animal itself. But another way of looking at it is also that bees, their entire being is based on a plant, is based on their relationship with plants.
Yeah.
The bee itself is made, the bee's body, the protein in the bee's body is made from pollen.
Wow.
And the energy that the bees get is from flower nectar. And there's the royal jelly that is also involved in the hive. That is made by the the small bees before they're out foraging.
Yeah.
And that royal jelly is really what do they call that? It determines sexuality, basically is what it is. And so when they're making a queen, they feed the queen only royal jelly.
Yeah.
They feed the pupa only royal jelly, and it grows into a queen. And they feed the worker bees a little bit of royal jelly and some honey, and it grows into workers.
Yeah.
And they take the male bees, the drones, and they don't give them any royal jelly, and then they turn into males. So that's basically the egg that the queen lays is all the same egg, but their sexuality is determined by the royal jelly.
You put royal jelly into some of the skincare products, don't you? How does it
We do.
affect the skin?
It's I think the royal jelly is a good substance, but honestly, I'm not really up on the science of it. Mostly, we put it in there because so many people request that it's in there, and what we do is we don't really harvest royal jelly. We don't do that. We find that to be too invasive into the hive. So basically, the royal jelly, most of the royal jelly that you'll find in our products like our face and eye cream come from the raw, unfiltered honey that we use. Because when you harvest honey, there's a certain amount of royal jelly involved, and just in the harvest of it. And then what happens is that we do not filter our honey. Like we don't. Generally, if you go to a store and you buy honey, what you're going to get is something that has been so highly filtered that basically you're getting honey-flavored sugar water. But we don't do that. With our honey, all we do is we run raw honey right from the hive, and we run it through a cheesecloth. And all that does is basically take out, large chunks of stuff that, grass or dirt, whatever. But anyway, it takes all that stuff out. All the rest is there. So generally, the royal jelly that is in most of our products winds up from the use of the raw, unfiltered honey.
And can you speak for us on Propolis and the benefits of Propolis?
Yeah, Propolis is a great product. It's in the beehive, the Propolis is the medicine that the bees use to stay healthy, and they don't do that by ingesting it. They do that by using it to seal up cracks in their walls and to cocoon invaders that they've killed that they can't get out of the hive. And what Propolis is it's tree sap that comes from evergreen trees. It can be, there's a number of pine trees they use, but it's the tree sap combined with wax, and it is extremely antibiotic. It's like in nature, it's like one of the best antibiotics that man has ever found that's available in nature, and it is just loaded with all types of nutrition in there, and the use for humans is the same. It has the same benefit for humans that it does for bees, and that is that it just destroys bacteria, and it keeps everything in a clean environment. The use of it does. So, yeah. So humans, the bees use it for medicine. We use it for medicine. I mean, if you. We make our propolis from organic propolis scrapings, and the way you get propolis is scraping it off the top bars in the hive or off of the side walls. It's this really dark substance, and we make a tincture from it.
Okay.
And we use that. We use 100% organic alcohol to make our tincture, and then we take that and we use that in our products.
Okay. They were showing me just in the factory, then they were showing me the big blocks of wax. So can you tell us how the wax is removed from the hive?
Yeah, well, just about I would say 90% of the wax that we use is from harvests. When the honey is being harvested, what happens is you cut the top of the comb off. Okay, so what you wind up with then is these big massive amounts of wax that is actually the cappings from from the process of spinning out honey.
Yeah.
Those cappings are then taken and heated to the point where they melt, and then it is separated by either there's a couple of collection processes. One is a solar process, and another process is a liquid process where what you do is you heat the substance up, and then the wax floats to the top, and then it is like removed. It just falls off of the top, and you collect it. And that's what it is. It's collected in pans, and then you let it alone, it turns into a block, and then we use it. When we use it, it's kind of the wax we get. Once again, it's like the honey. It's very close to its original form, in that it has not been strained. Not much has been removed from it. That's the way we want it. We want it to be, as like I said before, as close as possible to everything that was in there in its natural state. That's where all the good nutrition is. That's where all the real value is. So the idea of like straining it down and really purifying it we're not interested in that. So when we make our products, our small batch products of night cream or face and eye or whatever it is, what we do is we take a strainer and we set it on top. We take the melted wax and we pour it through the strainer, and if there's grass or anything else, it gets collected in the strainer, and the rest goes into the formulation.
So the honey and the propolis is like natural preservative, and then the wax is like natural emulsifier, so you don't need to add anything.
That's true. The wax is a natural emulsifier, but the wax is so much more than just the emulsifier in terms of its value to our skin. It's just like, that's just really, really good. There's so much benefit from the wax, and the wax is it's about 99.9% the same as the wax that our own bodies create.
Wow.
It's the wax.
Like earwax.
Exactly, the wax, the ester, the wax molecule is the same wax molecule that you have in your ear. It's the earwax, and it just collects there in your ear mainly because it's a small space and it's all enclosed, and so it just kind of secretes there. But our bodies also express that wax also in the sebum, which is our oil glands that are in our skins. And when you get older, they dry up a little more. But when you're young, you get plenty. Those glands that are all throughout all of our dermis, they express an oil that also has a wax component in it. And that wax is the same wax, like I said before, that comes from bees. The bees make their waxes just almost identical. And so that wax that comes out of the sebum in our skin, that washing that off is not a good idea.
Right.
The reason why your skin makes that substance is because it keeps your skin pliable, it keeps your skin healthy, it keeps it strong. There's so much value to having that oil and wax be in your skin that your body produces for it. And as you get older, that stuff starts to dry up a little bit. And what could be better than like adding a little bit more of what it's already used to having? I mean, what's better than that? So that's why I'm saying, like, beeswax is just so valuable. It's just incredibly valuable.
So, tell us a bit about your products. How many products do you have, and which are the most popular ones?
Wow. We have, I hear we have 32 products now. That's a lot. Yeah. Go on our website. It's honeygirlorganics.com. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, honeygirlorganics.com, and you can buy it from Raw Living in the UK and in Europe. And our philosophy is, if you wouldn't eat it, don't wear it. And that's you'll see that in all of our products. We firmly believe that anything you put on your skin is going to be absorbed into your body. So you may as well be as what's the right word? Deliberate. Yeah, there you go. You want to be as deliberate about what you put in your body as you are about what you put in your mouth. It's just the best way to be a healthy, vibrant human being.
So which are your best sellers? Which are your best seller products?
Our face and eye cream is our best seller, and then the face and eye extra sensitive is the second best seller.
So can you tell for people why would they want extra sensitive? Like what kind of skin types?
Yeah. The face and eye cream actually is a very extra sensitive cream just on its own.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything that should cause anybody any problems in terms of sensitivity to it. In the 10 years that we've been in business, we have not really had many issues at all with people being sensitive to any of our products. I would say maybe a handful, 5 or maybe 10 people we've had issues who have called us and said, hey, there's something in here that I can't use. But yeah, it's generally it has to do with essential oils that people are allergic to, and we do use essential oil in our products. So the extra sensitive line has no essential oil. And we have yet to find anyone who is allergic to beeswax, and I don't think anybody's allergic to olive oil either. So I just that's what we do.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And which is your personal favorite product?
Okay, my personal favorite is still the Mom and Baby butter.
Yeah.
I love the Mom and Baby butter. It's so rich and thick, and it smells great, and it just is so soothing. I use it in my hands. Now, in fact, we might just come out with a hand cream pretty soon that's based on the Mom and Baby butter. I don't know. It's just so good and rich. So I'm thinking of that. And then the other one that I really like a lot is our the Honey Glow Serum. I like our serum a lot.
Sorry, so you're saying the Mum and Baby cream is not just for mum and babies?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not really. It's just a great cream. The reason why it's great for mom and babies is because it has it's just very clean. It has a little bit of German chamomile essential oil, which makes it really also beneficial and soothing. It smells really good. We've taken the honey away from the formula because it's not safe for babies to have honey until they're over a year old. Yeah. But it's a great cream for pregnancy, for like stretch marks. It's just loaded with olive oil, which is really high in vitamin E. Yeah. And also it's great as a nursing cream, and also it's just wonderful for healing wounds. So after you've given birth, if you have a wound, then it's also a good thing to use to heal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Diaper rash.
Diaper rash is good for diaper rash too. So, yeah.
And you're going to tell us about the serum, is it?
Oh yeah, the serum. I like the serum a lot. It's I generally use it as an aftershave cream.
Okay.
So what I do is when I have to shave every day. I don't know. I'm just a hairy guy, but I shave every day, and so my skin is, especially my face, is a little sensitive, and I find that using the serum is just really. It smells great, and it just kind of really relieves any annoyance. So yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anthony. It's really, really interesting to talk with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Kate.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, and I hope this helps.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right.
So I'm so excited to be here at Honey Girl Organics in Hawaii in their production factory. And what are you doing right now?
Hi, we are making Honey Girl toner.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. I wish you could smell it because it smells really amazing in here. And which is your favourite product to make?
My favorite product is actually toner.
Yeah.
It smells good and it's nice and clean.
And which is your favourite product to use?
My favorite product is toner, and I also like to use our Honey Girl Rejuvenating Mask. It makes my skin super soft, and it feels like it's hydrating it. Yeah, it feels super good.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you. And this is Rachel, who I met at the farmer's market at the weekend. And which is your favourite product to use, Rachel?
The toner as well, and our night cream.
Why do you love the night cream?
Because I have oily skin, so using that it's less oily, and it just moisturizes my face, especially living out here and being in the sun all the time and drying out.
Yeah. What are you making now?
The toner.
Amazing. Wow. It must be an amazing place to work.
Yes, it's super nice. Beautiful up here.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So what have we got here?
This is our Face and Eye Extra Sensitive Cream. So it's for sensitive skin. It's really moisturizing. It's just good for you. But it feels good because it has sunflower oil, so it's very hydrating
Okay.
for you, and
Okay.
it's force sensitive.
Is it hard to make?
Kind of, not too bad.
Now we have.
Yeah. We have a good system on how it goes.
Yeah. Do you do it all in these food processors here?
Yeah, so we blend it in the buckets and then we put in the fruit processors to make it smooth.
Wow.
And then we hand pipe it
Wow.
each jar.
Like with a piping bag.
Yeah, with a paper
Wow.
bag. Yeah.
And he was telling me about the jars. So it's glass jars
Yeah.
with the aluminium.
Yeah.
Wow.